I teach entrepreneurs how to advertise to get more customers. That would be that's my simple, direct one. That's not my hero one, though. When you put that word hero there, it changes, right? Because that's my way of explaining to people what I do and what I sell. One sentence like a fifth grader can understand, which is what I'm used to. But a hero introduction, I got to try that again. Hero is, I empower, all people, but especially minorities, via education on how to provide for themselves so they never have to rely on it. At the end of the day, we sell work. And you got to remember that nobody wants to work. Remember this, when it comes to making money, simplify it. Meaning making money is nothing more than a trade.
My name is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, a streetcar racer turned hotelier, now social media marketer, and founder of Internet Moguls of the world. Billy, how would your hero introduction be for the 3 people who don't know you on this show?
I teach entrepreneurs how to advertise to get more customers.
Lovely.
That would be that's my simple, direct one. That's not my hero one, though. When you put that word hero there, it changes, right? Because that's my way of explaining to people what I do and what I sell. One sentence like a fifth grader can understand, which is what I'm used to. But a hero introduction, I got to try that again. Hero is, I empower, all people, but especially minorities, via education on how to provide for themselves so they never have to rely on anybody.
Lovely.
That's ultimately what I do.
Love that.
Yeah.
I remember when I met you at the San Diego Convention Center at the SMMW, your posters were everywhere. You were on the train, you were on the bus, you were on the car, you were everywhere. And I had a nice conversation with you. You said there's no way out. There's no other way. Either you're everywhere or you're nowhere. So I love that. And, so the girls and I are at SMMW every year, and hopefully see you next year as well.
Yes.
Maya, over to you.
Okay. So my first question is, to launch any new venture like we are for this book, do you think it's better to start with a new course or a series of free webinars? And if it is a new course, how do you think it's best to launch that?
So I'm understanding the question correctly. It's, hey, what's the best way to push the book, right?
Mm-hmm. To launch any new business.
Any new business. Yeah. What I do is I obsess on the outcome. And what I mean by that is never forget, especially in the world of education, which you guys are in, I am in, and, at the end of the day, we sell work. And you got to remember that nobody wants to work, right? Like there's very few people. You guys are special. The fact you're here, you're wanting to work, you guys are excited, you have a great father that's guiding you, like those very, very rare. You have to understand how very lucky you are to have the mindset that you are right now. And the fact you're thinking about these things, you're probably statistically 0.00001% of the world, just even thinking like this. But everyone else, most humans, unfortunately, and we need to change this, but they're lazy. They don't want to work. So when you tell them course, to us, it could be exciting. Well, of course, I get to learn something from these great people. But most human beings go, I got to sit in school. I gotta learn something new, etc. So as long as you're selling a course, you're always going to have a difficult time. Nobody wants a course. Remember that. Nobody wants a course. And by the way, as much as people like to have books and put them on them shelves, nobody likes to read. Nobody likes to do anything that requires them to do. You know what they like to do? They like to watch Netflix and chill.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and also too, if you were to go to a furniture store, and when people buy the furniture, they like it already assembled. They like the work done, or they like to have someone do it with them. If they have to go home and figure out how to build the table, how to build the chair, that's all called resistance, right? And resistance is anything that makes someone want to stop buying and impedes the process of someone giving you money. So your question in regards to, how do you get someone excited to buy a product or service is you obsess on the fact that the outcome is worth all of the resistance. So in other words, like, hey, by the end of this book, you will blink. By the end of this course, you will blink. On the first day of this, give them an easy win early. on the first day of this course. When you get to page 7, you will never have to blink again. On page 4, paragraph 3, sentence 2, like specificity is what makes something exciting and builds curiosity and gets someone really dying to buy. So when you can kneel down as like, hey, on page 6, and the third paragraph, that is the answer to their biggest problem. So that is the biggest thing when you're selling your product or service is what's the outcome, and can you say it in one sentence? And then ask yourself this, and this is the most important one. On a scale of 1 to 10, after reading that back to yourself, how excited, that word specifically, how excited would a prospect be? When we are marketing and thinking of businesses, sometimes we get a little too logical and we get a little too smart, so to speak, and we forget that people buy when they're excited. So the key, the game is to get someone excited. Even if everything is horrible, if there's a clear outcome and they're excited, they will buy. Clear outcome and they're excited, they will buy. Those are the key factors.
Wow, that is brilliant. Clear outcome and excited. Aviana, sweetheart, over to you.
So my first question is, what was the biggest struggle and mistake you made trying to grow your business that you suggest avoiding to any new entrepreneurs?
Hands down, it would be trying to figure it out on my own. There's a lot of pride with adults and children where we know everything. When we're younger, we're so, we want to be independent so bad. And we want to show our parents, we got this. Hey, dad, chill. Dad, get off me. I got this. Or, our teacher is like, I already know that, mister. I already know that, missus. I already know that, right? That's our natural thing. And so usually when I see people start their entrepreneurship journey, their heart is so set on showing everybody that they can do it that they're afraid to ask anybody for help. And that is the greatest mistake. And I love to compare it to, if I called you guys and I was like, hey, you guys, let's build a house together. And let's say none of us have ever built a house before. Like none of us would just try and figure it out, especially if we knew we had to live in that house for 3 months. We wouldn't want to be in a house where, the walls weren't safe, where the doors didn't lock, where the roof wouldn't protect us from rain. We would never try and do that. So the very first thing all of us would do is we'd be like, who do we know that's built a house before? Same thing with business, is asking. The mistake I made was not finding out who's already built the thing I'm trying to get and asking them, how do I do it? Do you have an instruction manual? Do you have a video watch? Can you come over and just do it with me? That was hands down the biggest mistake I made. It cost me a lot of money and time.
Fantastic. Raya, you want to go back?
Yes.
Oh, we got a little kickback here. You hear that?
Yeah, we did.
It's gone now. Okay, we're good.
So the next one is, how do you know like which membership course to make? Like I have dealt with bullying in the past, and I've asked like other entrepreneurs, which type of course would you suggest? Do you suggest making a membership course based off on your experiences so that you've gone through the dirty work and now you can teach people how to get over that?
I think you need both. I think you need to stay in your expertise or something you can learn expertise on, and something that the customer wants. Common mistake that business owners make is we sell what we want. Well, you make money based off what other people want, so you got to make sure it's serving. And then the other key, and this is extremely important, never forget this because it'll never change for your entire existence, which is do not be broad. For example, hey, stopping bullying is one thing. But when I say the word bullying, it means something different to you and to your sister and to your dad and to myself. So there's no imagery. Like I can't actually imagine that, because it's like bullying. I imagine like someone pushing someone down on slides. Someone else imagines bullying where someone's calling someone nonstop and they won't stop calling them. You have to identify very specifically what type of bullying. So for example, how to avoid like, bad online Facebook comments. That was a bad example, but like the specificity was good. You know what I mean? Like, hey, like when you post on Instagram, how to do it without like, taking to heart every single thing that someone comments, right? Like, and again, I would tighten that up, but just to give the idea of that level of being specific, because now we have a clear outcome, right? That's really what we're selling. And if somebody is sitting in their house right now and they're an entrepreneur, their goal is to make money, right? That's the goal of a business, is to generate profit. But if their unwillingness to post because they're afraid of what someone's going to say is stopping them from making money, well, that's what makes your course valuable. Is, hey, if you weren't afraid to post, how much more sales would you have made last year? If you weren't afraid of what people would say, how much more impact would you have made? If you weren't afraid of how you would feel when you were reading your comments, how much more brave would you be, ambitious would you be? And how much money did that cost you last year? Would you like me to change that in da-da-da? On page 4 of this book, I'll show you exactly da-da-da. On page 16. So that's how it all flows together.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Over to you.
I've got a last question.
So my last question is, we use the term internet moguls a lot. And internet mogul for us means someone who spends time with their family, but also tries to grow their business and improve on their business. So what would your definition of an internet mogul be?
I think an internet mogul to me is someone who is putting other people first. And the reason why that specifically is because I believe that typically doesn't happen for most people until their own foundation is set. So, most people will never help other people because they're so busy trying to build their own home, protect their own self. So to me, an internet mogul typically focus on other people. They're either one, just so selfless, like they can do it, but you reach more people when you have a strong foundation. So I think that to me is the success, is someone when they're really focused on serving other people genuinely, and it goes beyond them, whether it's doing it for their team, whether it's doing it for their community, their followers, etc. When it switches to that to me is usually when someone's tinkering on the defense of success.
Perfect. Thank you. We asked for 15 minutes. We're already 1 minute over. Can we ask our last question?
That's okay. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, like I said, we're building this online school to be able to inspire families. Like I said, I don't want to, for the last 10 years, I've been traveling and being the absent father that I never thought I would be. I want to stay home more, and therefore I'm building an online business so I can stay home more. And that's my message to everybody through the internet moguls of the world, a family school, a family digital marketing school, to say, today you don't need to travel around the world, go on flights and all that. If you don't want to, you can learn various aspects of internet marketing, affiliate marketing, online courses, podcasting, whatever, and stay closer to your family, and everybody in the family can do more. Social media is the biggest opportunity in the world. What would you say to parents and families about the power of social media to be able to work from anywhere?
Well, I would take it a step further, and I think what you guys are doing is beautiful because, and I like the idea of family, school. I've never heard that before. I think it's really smart and good. But I think the thing is, too many times as entrepreneurs, we always try and separate. Hey, I have my work, I have my family. I've also been guilty of that, etc. But I have a 4-year-old daughter, and my whole vision is this right here: working together. Like, to me, I don't think you can truly separate and be good in both areas, because that means you're giving 50% to both. So what if you just did it all together? So I think so many people, they try and separate. No, this has to be my family time, or this, or you hear people like, no, at this time we don't. And I'm like, we can do it together. It's okay if we talk about business as a family. It's okay if we do those things together as a family. Right. And I think people don't obsess enough about how creatively do it. Like my daughter, like I bring her to the office, like I got a new vehicle we're traveling in for work. Like I brought my daughter there, and her and I spent time in it. We've gone to the swap meet multiple times to practice selling and like posting, and we'll make videos. Like, it's together. And so, I think it's just very hard for any human being when you have two different passions to stay aligned and stay cohesive. You have to share some commonality. I mean, that's why humans get together in the first place, is to share interests. And so I think the importance of building together, I love the idea of learning together, implementing together, those things are all critical.
Perfect. I love your new van.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm sure. So we've just got one last thing into two parts. One is that a message from you to all the people, because what we did, Billy, because like you said, when you come under pressure, that's when you get things, you know, the rubber hits the road. We got into lockdown about 60 days ago. In about 60 days, we've done over 60 webinars and built an email list of almost 150,000 people in the last lockdown.
Whoa, yeah. That's no joke at all.
Every day, 4 hours on a webinar and, you know, talking to people, giving them service, all of that. Built a list, and it'll by the time we launch this online school podcast, and we're going to launch it with a summit. And all of that is going to have all these interviews. We're going to have
Wait, really quick. Ladies, were you both on those webinars too?
No.
Come on. You guys better get on the webinars.
Instagram Live right now is what I'm trying to focus on.
Good. That's a good focus. Okay. I'll take it.
So like I said, by the time this whole venture is launched, we'll be about 300,000. It's a brand new thing. Like I realized that I have an email list of 70,000 people from my 10-year-old business. And now we are all going to be at 150,000 right now and 300 by this. So like you said, pressure made it happen. So for all of the people who will be listening to this and, you know, downloading all the information from the people who will experience Internet Moguls of the world for the first ever time, your message to them.
Remember this, when it comes to making money, simplify it. Meaning making money is nothing more than a trade. Someone trades you money in exchange for whatever that is. Now, the way you make the most money is you trade something that people can't easily get somewhere else, right? Or they can't do by themselves. And when you can solve that problem and you can have a valuable trade, something that they really desire, that's it. And then the second equation to that is ask as many people every single day to buy. Just obsession about that. Like every single day, how many people did you ask to buy? And then the next day, ask more people to buy. Wow. And as you grow, you'll get smarter. You'll get smarter. Email 70,000 people and ask people that way. You can show an ad to 1 million people. You can, go outside on the street and maybe there's a busy street. You can ask people. That's the whole game. So if you have a good trade, show a clear outcome, you can say it in one sentence to a fifth grader, and you ask a bunch of people, you will make money. That's the whole game. And keep your expenses low and your profit high. And there you go.
Perfect. Billy, thank you so much for your time.